morning, we're back. The time is 9:13. Right now, there are nearly 500 children in Minnesota who are in need of an adoptive home. More than half, about 264 of those children, are between the ages of 12 and 18 years old.
Here to talk about the ways people are working to find home for these kids are Kelly Searing and Amanda Shimkowiak. Thank you both so much for coming today.
Thank you. Good morning for having us.
Kelly, I want to start with you.
Yep.
So what exactly do you do within Hennepin County as a recruitment specialist? Like, what does that mean for these kids? Specifically, we're talking about some of the older kids that are looking for adoptive homes.
Yeah, so my focus is on the youth that are currently in foster care but have already been freed for adoption. And so a lot of those, specifically in Hennepin County, we have about 60 youth, and about 70% of them are between the ages of 12 to 18. And so there's quite a need for the older youth.
How are the children coming to you guys? How do they end up with the county?
Yep, so when there's an open child protection case, it starts there, and we work towards reunification with biological parents. And then if that's not possible, parental rights are terminated, and then they end up on the permanency side with Amanda and I.
Do you think too, and Amanda, maybe this is a good question for you, what is it about maybe older kids that sometimes intimidates people with the adoption process?
I think sometimes with the older children, sometimes the age itself is scary, and thinking that these children are 16, 17 and maybe aren't looking for a home, and thinking they want a younger child with maybe less trauma and maybe someone that they can help raise throughout their lifetime. But our older children are fantastic, and they are so much fun, and they want adults and families just as much as our younger kids do.
Take us inside the process a little bit about how it all works.
Yeah, so I can talk about the recruitment side of things. So what we do when we have this group of youth that are waiting to be adopted, we have multiple, I guess, strategies that we use in order to get them connected with families. A couple of those would be getting to know the families as well as the youth so that we can make those successful connections. Another option might be planning an event in the community where these youth have the opportunity and choice to meet some of these families so that they really put themselves out there, and often we have successful matches that way.
That's gotta be kind of intimidating for the youth, for the kiddos too. I'm thinking, like, I'm 12 years old and I want to be me, but I want to make sure someone likes me too, because I want to find that home. I mean, how do you guys go about that process, kind of talking to them like, hey, you can do this?
Yeah, so when I prep my youth for events like this, I'm always like, just be yourself and know that I'm there with you. And if you need a break, we sometimes think of code words like, hey, if you need just to sneak out, we can go take a little break, we can go on a walk. But when they get in that environment, they seem to just shine and be themselves, and it's really fun to see them do that. And they're brave. They really are, and they're resilient, and it's really amazing to see them in those environments.
I don't think people often give kids the credit for that resiliency. That I just think people assume that the kid's going to be quiet, so it's cool to hear that, you know, in a lot of these times the kid really steps up and shines.
They do. They really do.
So we've got a couple of kids who we'd like to talk about today, which I'm really looking forward to learning a little bit more of them. So tell us about Taj.
Taj is fantastic.
A handsome guy.
He is 12 years old, and Taj is adventurous. He really is an outgoing youth. He is into boxing. He has previously taken boxing lessons, and so he has enjoyed going to the gym, playing basketball. He is in 7th grade. He really academically is thriving. He is A honor roll for the last 2 semesters. He socially does struggle a little bit, but he is working really hard on that, and he is able to recognize both his strengths and his weaknesses. He says his biggest strength is his communication skills, and I would agree with that. He has a great sense of humor. He is so polite. One of his favorite things to do with me is I take him out and we get dinner, and most recently we did dinner, and he can hold an excellent conversation with you. He really enjoys one-on-one attention. Taj is looking for a family, either a 2-parent household or a single parent. He is hoping to stay in the metro area, as he does have a large sibling group, so he is hoping to keep in contact with those siblings. He is hoping to be an only child. He does want one-on-one attention.
That's fair.
Yes, and he does want pets in his home, especially a reptile if possible, but he is wanting pets in his home. And he has asked that whoever is looking for a home with Taj is that they are respectful and show patience and help him guide into adulthood.
I know we've got about a minute left, but we want to make sure we talk about Araya as well.
Yes, she is fantastic as well. She prefers Ari. She is 13. She is bubbly. She is kind-hearted. She is sensitive. She's a very girly girl. She likes going shopping, hair done, getting her nails done. She is also a great big sister, so sibling contact is a must and is extremely important for her. She also is looking for a 2-parent household or a single mom staying in the metro area as well. She also is open to pets in the home as well as being an only child. Ari would like to have open contact with birth family, but must have contact with her siblings, as again, that is extremely important to her.
Well, thank you both so much for being here and telling us about Taj and Ari and the other kids. If you are interested in learning more, you can head over to minnesotalive.com and we'll post all this information there for you.